I'm Azaria Tagaya and you're watching Nightline. Here are the headlines. Ngeh Koo Ham apologizes over Sharia committee proposal. And MCCC says Daim probe according to law and Pandora Papers information. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has affirmed his full support for the reminder for the people issued by Selangor ruler Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, especially to non-Muslims, to respect and not interfere in matters related to Islam. Anwar said non-Muslim parties could address the National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs Malaysia or MKI in writing if there were any doubts and to avoid any confusion. Taking to his social media, the Prime Minister said this was to resolve any confusion in a harmonious and civilized atmosphere. On Friday, the Sultan of Selangor, who is also the MKI chairman, stated in a post on the Selangor Royal Office's Facebook page that the MKI holds the trust and responsibility to handle all matters concerning the Islamic community. His Majesty said the MKI also comprises experts in various fields, especially in law and Islamic matters. His Majesty expressed hope that politicians, especially non-Muslims, refrain from constantly meddling in Islamic matters and to instead emulate Muslims who do not meddle in the affairs of other religions in Malaysia. In other news, Beruas Member of Parliament Datuk Ngeh Koo Ham has apologized for a proposal he made that interfered with Islamic affairs. The former Perak State Legislative Assembly Speaker said he has no intention whatsoever to interfere in matters relating to Islam. In a statement, he withdrew and apologized over his suggestion for the government to appoint experts from non-Muslim communities to assist the special committee to study the competence of the State Legislative Assembly in enacting Islamic laws. He said until recently he was unaware that the special committee had actually been formed by the National Council for Islamic Affairs and is chaired by the Sultan of Selangor. The former Perak Assembly Speaker added that he had no intention of getting involved in matters relating to Islam. His statement, made on December 28th, has been slammed by various political figures, including from those within the government. The investigation carried out against former Finance Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin is based on the existing law and is being carried out without prejudice. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MCCC, said it had opened an investigation paper on Daim in February 2023 based on information from the Pandora Papers. In a statement, the Commission sought to correct the facts regarding the statement issued by Daim, which has caused unnecessary confusion and misunderstanding over the investigation on his case, stating that he is being investigated according to the law and without prejudice. It said the MCCC has never made any official statements accusing Daim of committing any wrongdoing. On June 7th, 2023, Daim was served a notice under Section 36, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the MCCC Act, requesting him to declare all his assets, both domestic and foreign, in writing and by oath within 30 days from the date of the notice. MCCC said Daim requested 5 extensions to demands for him to declare all his assets, granted on July 6th, August 10th, September 11th, October 11th and November 14th. It said the public prosecutor issued a seizure notice for Ilham Tower on December 18th under Section 38, Subsection 1 of the MCCC Act. On Thursday, Daim, in a statement, labelled MCCC's investigation against him and his family a political witch hunt, denying that neither he nor his family had been involved in any corruption or wrongdoing. The MCCC said Daim is being investigated under Section 23 of the MCCC Act and Section 4, Subsection 1 of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act. However, the MCCC said it is working according to the principle of presumption of innocence in law, and those involved could clear their names if the case is brought to court. The Health Ministry will use the Standard Operating Procedures SOPs for floods introduced by the Kelantan Health Department, JKNK, as a benchmark for preparing other health facilities to face the natural disaster. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, said the SOP would be developed as a practice in flood-affected states such as Terengganu, Johor and Pahang. According to Dr. Zulkifli, the JKNK prepared the SOP by taking into account the situation before the floods, during the floods and after the floods.
Kita dapati semasa banjir ini, 4 kumpulan telah dibentuk, sama ada pasukan kesihatan, pasukan kesihatan mental MHPSS dan juga hal yang membawa kepada pencerahan promosi literasi kesihatan.
He said this to reporters after visiting a flood relief centre at SMK Baruh Pial in Pasir Mas, Kelantan on Saturday. Citing the Pasir Mas Health Office as an example, Dr. Zulkifli said this was a good development as it enables the district health officers to monitor in real time, including having a dashboard that can be used to make predictions of areas that will be severely affected by flooding. In another development, Dr. Zulkifli said the number of COVID-19 cases reported at relief centres in Kelantan is still under control. So far, 15 COVID-19 cases have been detected at relief centres in the state, especially in Pasir Mas and Tanah Merah during the 3 waves of flooding since November. In a bid to curb the escalating spread of COVID-19, heightened monitoring measures have been implemented at 2 key border entry points between Johor and Singapore. State Health and Unity Committee Chairman Ling Tian Sun said that health officers are now stationed at specialized lanes to conduct body temperature screenings on foreigners, including tourists arriving from the neighbouring country. According to Ling, the measure involves the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complex at Sultan Iskandar Building in Johor Bahru, as well as the Sultan Abu Bakar complex in Iskandar Puteri. He also said in addition to travellers, Malaysians working in Singapore are also required to undergo body temperature screenings at the designated locations at both entry points.
KKM ada menempatkan pegawai yang berada di sempadan. Kalau mereka yang ada tanda-tanda ataupun simptom, contohnya demam ke apa, kami boleh ambil saringan di kawasan sempadan tersebut. Tapi sehingga hari ini kita tengok kes yang dilaporkan ataupun yang dikenal pasti dalam sempadan itu tidak tinggi. Kebanyakan boleh dikatakan lebih daripada 90% adalah jangkitan dalaman.
Ling, who was also Yongpeng Assemblyman, said to date 3 COVID-19 patients are being treated in the intensive care unit, with 123 patients undergoing treatment in the state's hospitals. Nevertheless, what is concerning is the increasing trend of COVID-19 cases in Johor over the past few months. As of last Saturday, Johor has reported a cumulative total of 404,309 COVID-19 cases, with 401,216 cases classified as local infections, while the rest are import cases. The state also recorded 1 new COVID-19 death in the 51st epidemiological week. As such, the public is encouraged to continue practicing health precautions, including the wearing of face masks and avoiding the 3 Cs, namely crowded places, confined spaces and close conversations. The Kelantan state government is confident that the announcement of flood mitigation projects and funds will benefit the well-being of the people in the state. His Menteri Besar, Datuk Muhammad Nasruddin Daud, expressed his appreciation to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim for the distribution of wang ihsan of more than 177 million ringgit to the state of Kelantan. He said the funding will not only help the people of Kelantan, but also strengthen the spirit of federalism between the state and the federal government. Muhammad Nasruddin also welcomed the Prime Minister's announcement during his recent visit to assess the flood situation and meet flood victims at the relief centres in Pasir Mas on Thursday. This includes the immediate approval of funds for the construction of temporary embankments, including the Sungai Golo Integrated River Basin Development Project spillway structure worth 6 million ringgit. He said that the Kelantan government is also grateful for the 5 new projects to address the flood issues in Kelantan, which are expected to commence in 2024, with a total estimated cost of more than 910 million ringgit, adding that the Kelantan state government will take all the necessary steps to speed up the process of reclaiming land for these projects. This year, Kelantan has received more than 217 million ringgit under the wang ihsan.
Mayat tu dalam kereta dalam keadaan kepala ke bawah, kaki ke atas, belakang tempat duduk pemandu.
Kes bunuh pemandu Grab Aiman Nosri 27 tahun bermotifkan samun.
Niat samun itu telah menyebabkan kejadian bunuh.
Hutang nyawa mesti dibalas dengan nyawa.
Fail Mahkamah, Rabu 9 malam di TV3 dan stream secara HD ditonton.
The Human Resources Ministry has instructed an immediate submission of reports on the recent workplace accidents involving a maintenance worker in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang, and a factory worker in Banting, Selangor. Its Minister, Stephen Sim, said he expects the reports to be completed within a week or two. According to Sim, the Occupational Safety and Health Department in both states have visited the locations, and the notices with regards to the workplace accidents have been issued to the relevant parties.
Saya juga ingin tegaskan bahawa Jabatan Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerja JKKP dengan serta-merta setelah menerima laporan telah turun untuk menjalankan siasatan, dan saya dah bagi arahan supaya siasatan laporan disiapkan dengan secepat mungkin supaya kita boleh move on dan kita juga boleh memberikan keadilan kepada mangsa-mangsa.
Sim said this to reporters after visiting the family of one of the victims, 28-year-old R. Thinesh Kumar, in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang on Saturday to hand over his personal contribution as well as assistance from the social security organisation SOCSO to the next of kin. It was reported that Thinesh Kumar died while servicing a lift at a shopping complex at Jalan Burma in Georgetown on December 26th. Another factory worker in Banting, 22-year-old Nur Ahmad Yusuf Mue, died after a fall during cleaning work at a recycling factory last Wednesday. Sim also called on all employers to consistently take responsibility for controlling workplace risks to ensure a safe working environment. Kuala Lumpur City Hall, or DBKL, has been instructed to step up patrols and surveillance around the federal capital to tackle the activities of parking touts, which are causing concern among the residents. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Dr. Zaleha Mustafa, stressed that stern action must be taken against those involved. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Dr. Zaleha said she has taken note of the public complaints about parking touts operating in Kuala Lumpur over the past few days. She also said that such illegal activities should not be allowed to take place. Earlier, a woman had uploaded a video on social media showing scratches on her car door, believed to have been caused by a parking tout after she had refused to pay a 15 ringgit fee demanded by the individual. According to the victim, the incident occurred 4 days ago at a car park near Maybank in Bukit Bintang. Meanwhile, in a statement on Saturday, DBKL clarified that not all parking spaces under its management are available free of charge after office hours. In relation to the viral complaint on social media about parking touts in Bukit Bintang, the statement explained that DBKL has contracted a private company to manage the 8 parking spaces at the open car park next to a lane off Jalan Sultan Ismail as valet services after office hours. The statement also mentioned that the valet service operator has been instructed to promptly display informational signs at their designated location so that the public are aware of the valet services. DBKL also informed that it takes the issue of parking touts in the city seriously, and since last year until now, a total of 75 parking touts have faced action under the Road Transport Act. The DBKL enforcement team will also intensify monitoring in parking tout hotspots, namely Bukit Bintang, Jalan Beremi and Jalan Walter Grenier, to effectively address the problem. More than 1,000 people, including politicians from various parties, gathered at Teluk Kumbar in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang to protest against the proposed construction of centralized living quarters for foreign workers there. The group's spokesperson, Dr. Muhammad Idris Saleh, stated that they had voiced disagreement to the project since 2021, and the gathering on Saturday marked its largest protest yet, since the developer was found to have applied for planning permission on June 27th.
Kabul akan berleluasa. Jadi kita takut murid-murid kita, anak-anak yang Teluk Kumbar sini kena gangguan seksual.
The group gathered near a piece of land approximately 0.8 hectares in size, which is said to be the site for the construction of the foreign workers' living quarters. During the gathering, a memorandum was also submitted to Bayan Lepas Assemblyman Dato' Azrul Mahathir Aziz. Dr. Muhammad Idris expressed disappointment at the project, stating that the developers seemed to only consider economic factors while overlooking the possible social impact of approximately 30,000 foreign workers flooding the area once the project is completed. He pointed out that the local community is concerned about having to share facilities and infrastructure with such a large number of foreign workers, especially after the area recently faced water supply disruptions for over a week. Indonesia to impose new tax on e-cigarettes from January 1st. News from the foreign front when we return.
어떻게 됐어? 네가 지금 루테인이 아닌 것 같은데.
Seronoknya layan oval sampai pagi.
보고? 개판이네! 팀은 가속도와 질량이 비례한다.
조문 왔던 걔네들 왔다 가고 그랬잖아.
Mak turun aplikasi tonton, semua favourite anda ada di sini.
Nak filem apa hujung tahun ni? Cinta, komedi, aksi, semuanya ada di TV3. Atau pelbagai seleksi filem terkini untuk menemani hujung tahun anda. Cinta Agung dan Pengkhianatan, Asuka 30 Disember. Menyamar demi menghapuskan jenayah, White Chicks 31 Disember.
That was nice!
Terima kasih bersama kami untuk tahun 2023 yang terindah. TV3 sentiasa bersamamu.
The foreign news now. The Zionist regime intensified its bombardment across the Gaza Strip on Saturday, targeting Khan Yunis, Rafah and Deir al-Balah, leaving at least 165 people killed and 250 wounded in the last 24 hours. According to ministry spokesman Ashraf al-Qudra, at least 50,000 pregnant women are suffering from malnutrition and health complications, as he warned that those with high-risk pregnancies sheltering in health centres are lacking clean drinking water, proper hygiene, food and healthcare. Meanwhile, Al-Quds Brigade's fighters said they had engaged in battles in the north and east of Khan Yunis in Gaza's south, while in Deir al-Balah, Zionist boats launched intense attacks near the beach, wounding several people. Saturday's violence lifts the death toll in the enclave to more than 21,600 killed and 56,165 wounded. The administration of United States President Joe Biden on Friday has once again bypassed Congress to greenlight an emergency weapons sale to Israel, despite growing international outrage. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken told Congress that he had made a second emergency determination in less than a month, covering a $147.5 million sale of equipment to Israel. The package includes ancillary items, including fuses, chargers and primers that Israel would require to make the 155mm shells. The emergency determination means the purchase will bypass the congressional review requirement for foreign military sales. Such determinations are rare but not unprecedented when administrations see an urgent need for weapons to be delivered without waiting for lawmakers' approval. Meanwhile, the State Department sought to counter potential criticism of the sale on human rights grounds by saying it was in constant touch with Israel to emphasize the importance of minimizing civilian casualties. Indonesia on Saturday announced a new tax on e-cigarettes to be imposed starting from January 1st of next year, adding to an excise tax to help curb vaping. The country's finance ministry has set the additional tax at 10% of the excise tariff for electronic cigarettes, adding that the tax is also needed to level the playing field with conventional cigarettes. However, a group of e-cigarette producers and customers criticized the lack of discussion and the timing of implementing the tax, considering excise tariffs for the product will increase next year. The group said it may consider going to court to challenge the tax if the government goes ahead with it. The new tax comes after Indonesia, which has one of the highest smoking rates in the world, in 2018 had imposed a 57% excise tax on essences used for e-cigarettes. India recorded 743 fresh cases of COVID-19 on Saturday, with the total active caseload increasing by 7, reaching 3,997. According to the Union Health Ministry, 7 deaths have been reported in the country in the last 24 hours, 3 in Kerala, 2 in Karnataka, and 1 each in Chandigarh and Tamil Nadu. However, while 600 to 700 cases of the infection are still being recorded, the number of active cases went down to 3,997 from 4,091 recorded the previous day. The increase in the number of cases also coincides with an increase in the number of JN1 cases, with at least 162 cases being detected so far. Though more cases are being reported, doctors say that the risk of severe disease remains low. Wen stuns Wimbledon champ Vondrousova in United Cup debut. Sports after this breather.
Tengok. Inilah bukti ramai yang pilih merah.
Dah jelas lagi nyata.
Dengan jumlah pendengar 3.73 juta.
Menjadikan Hot FM Station Radio nombor 1 Malaysia.
Joji, mana?
Sekali lagi terima kasih menjadikan Hot FM Station Radio nombor 1 Malaysia.
Jangan pandang ringan dan mudah. Anggap batuk awak ini serius. Woods ubat batuk dengan rasa pudina. Memberi sensasi kelegaan di kerongkong. Berkesan melegakan batuk. Woods ubat batuk yang saya percaya.
Meneroka kepelbagaian Malaysia bersama kisah-kisah inspirasi. Majalah 3, 1 Januari 9 malam.
Pesawat itu telah terhempas.
Juga kes-kes jenayah dan tragedi 999, 2 Januari 9 malam.
Membuka tirai rangkuman kejadian jenayah.
Fail Mahkamah 3 Januari 9 malam.
Mayat Aiman ditemui selepas 2 hari hilang.
Melangkah ke aras baru 2024 bersama kami. TV3 sentiasa bersamamu.
Sports tennis. Team Netherlands edged Casper Ruud and Team Norway 2-1 in their United Cup Group F opener on Saturday in Sydney, Australia. Aranska Roos defeated Malene Helgo to give the Netherlands a 1-0 lead before Casper Ruud beat Talon Griekspoor to level the tie at 1-1. But the world number 11 Ruud was unable to help finish it out as he and mixed doubles partner Ulrike Akeri fell to Demi Schuurs and Wesley Koolhof 7-6, 7-5 in the decider to give the Dutch the victory. In Perth, Zheng Qinwen stunned reigning Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova on Saturday as China defeated the Czech Republic in its United Cup debut on Saturday. World number 15 Zheng, the 2022 WTA Newcomer of the Year and 2023 Most Improved Player, defeated Vondrousova 6-1, 2-6, 6-1 to clinch the victory in their 3-match Group E tie. In the opening men's singles, Zhang Zhizhen defeated Yiri Leheshka 5-7, 6-3, 6-4 to give China a 1-0 advantage. China is making its United Cup debut at the team event, a tune-up to next month's Australian Open. On to football, Frank Kessie converted a stoppage-time penalty kick to give Al Ahly a 1-0 win over Al Khalij in Saudi Pro League play. The team spent more than 90 minutes trading chances, with neither side able to get an advantage until Khalij midfielder Ivo Rodriguez was whistled for tripping Ahly defenseman Roger Ibanez in the box. Replays appeared to show that Rodriguez's trip was unintentional, but Al Ahly was awarded a penalty kick that Kessie easily sent past Khalij Ibrahim Sehish in the 99th minute. The win was Al Ahly's third in a row and moved them within 3 points of second-placed Al Nasser in the SPL standings. In another match, league leaders Al Hilal scored twice late to claim a hard-fought 2-0 win over Al Fayha and remain unbeaten on the season. Al Hilal, who lost Brazilian striker Neymar to injury months ago, continued their winning ways when defenseman Ali Abouyahi broke open a scoreless match with his 86-minute tally. Alexander Mitrovic added a penalty goal 11 minutes into stoppage time to clinch Al Hilal's 17th win of the season to just 2 draws. The result sees Al Hilal remain top of the league and extends their lead to 10 points, while it was a 4th straight defeat for the hosts. After this short break, 2 hurt in warehouse fire. Don't go away.
Karnival Jom Heboh 2024 akan ke Kuching, Sarawak. Peluang terbaik untuk kembangkan jenama, promosi dan bisnes anda dengan pelbagai aktiviti menarik. Hubungi kami sekarang di maklumat tertera untuk menyertai. Jom, jom, jom! Drama-drama terbaik 2024 membawa anda ke dunia berbeza. Ketawa bersama, kekal selamanya. Lestari Hot Fellas mulai 4 Januari 9 malam. Kasih yang Kudamba, Akasia, Cinta Bersemi di Wadi Safia mulai 9 Januari 7 malam. Perpisahan tidak diduga, Samarinda Menanti Senja mulai 17 Januari 10 malam. Melangkah ke aras baru 2024 bersama kami. TV3 sentiasa bersamamu.
Back with us on Nightline. In Pulau Pinang, 2 workers were injured with 1 badly burnt after a warehouse storing hardware supplies located on Jalan Permatang Janggus, Permatang Pao, caught fire on Saturday morning. A spokesperson from the State Fire and Rescue Department's Operations Centre stated that the burn victim was a 50-year-old man from Myanmar, while the 30-year-old local woman suffered minor injuries. The man sustained 70% burns on his limbs and was rushed to the hospital for treatment. A total of 41 firefighters from the Penanti, Prai, Banda Perda, Bertam and Sungai Bakap fire stations were dispatched to the scene after an emergency call was received at 11:05 a.m. The blaze involved a warehouse measuring 300 by 300 square feet, with approximately 80% of it being razed. The fire, which also gutted 2 trucks, 3 cars and 2 motorcycles, was completely extinguished at 1:20 p.m. with the help of a volunteer fire brigade, and the operation ended at 6:45 p.m. The amount of losses and the cause of the fire are still under investigation. As we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look as Shanghai's landmark Yuyuan Garden welcomes tourists from across China as well as from around the world as vibrant lanterns immerse in the metropolitan in the air of festivity. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thanks for watching. See you next time.